Hey everyone, welcome to Beach Investing. I'm your host, Andrei Angelkovski. We're in the Toronto Prime Beaches here with Jeff Reed. How are you, Jeff?
How you doing, Andrei?
Good, man. Just baking in the sun. It's a hot day today. We're in March. So what's going on here? Jeff, you had to go to committee of adjustments. Okay, so because you wanted to put a third story up and because you were exceeding the gross floor area that you were allowed to, you had to go to committee and get their approval. So what you did was you organized a meeting with the neighbors just so you can tell them what your plans were and see their reaction. Tell us what happened.
So right now we're standing on the third floor of the house. We were initially going to go down with the basement, as we've said in previous videos, and we found out that there's an underground water table that's about 18 inches below the surface, and so we couldn't go down with the basement. So as a result, in order to get the number of bedrooms that we wanted, we had to come up with a third floor. We're not exceeding the maximum height down in this zone, but we are exceeding the gross floor area, which is the amount of square footage in a house as compared to the lot size. Okay, in this area we're not allowed to exceed 60 to 69% in this area, and we're actually closer to about 90%. Originally we were planning to put a complete third floor on this house. I called a meeting with all of the people on the street and invited everybody on the street. The only people that showed up to the meeting were people that had issues with me putting a third floor on here. So I didn't gain any support, but what I had was a lot of problems, and I pretty much at the end of the night got my ass kicked by all of the neighbors. They rallied up against me. This is the beaches and that's what they do apparently. So I had about 7 or 8 people that all had various issues to do with me covering the sun, making shade and making their house colder and not enough sun. So I listened to what everybody said, I took notes, and then a week and a half later we had another meeting and I challenged each and every one of them, and what I did is actually reduce the third floor to half the size. And as you can see, there's a window here behind me, and the neighbor had an issue with me providing light to that window. So by stopping the house at where this 2x8 stands behind me, we've actually done a mock-up here, and we've studied the sun and the angle of the sun over the last week so that these two sticks line up, and this little window here on the 45 degree has sun until 12:30 every day, and so that's made the neighbor happy. Also, there was a neighbor across the street that had an issue that had to do with the height of the house providing shade on the front veranda, and we've talked to them and we've made the roof flat. Another neighbor said that we look too modern, and so we've actually sourced a reclaimed brick from Detroit from the 1920s, and we brought that in and we used that brick, and we studied a special joint technique that made it look like the house is original from the 1920s. So it's very, very close to the original brick that's in the original cottage on the main floor of this house from 1895. Okay, so we're really, really happy with the brick look. He's happy, we're all happy. On the second meeting, all of the people signed my petition. I took it to the city, and we actually won unanimously.
You won, eh?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
congratulations.
as you can see, that was yesterday, and we've started building. By this afternoon we should have a couple of these walls up, and we'll be doing the brick this weekend on the front of the house on the third floor.
Awesome. So one thing I want to make sure that the viewers get from this video is don't just apply and just show up at the committee of adjustments, because you'll likely have neighbors protesting against you and you'll likely lose. Address the issues first, like Jeff did. Approach the neighbors, call a meeting, and you'll likely get your ass kicked and handed to you, because they'll come up and just talk about all the things that they don't want you to do. So then, once you hear these issues, well, address them one by one. How can you satisfy each and one of them, like you did, right? So without you doing that, you would not have won. These guys would have showed up and you would have been stamped red, and that's it. You wouldn't have gotten it.
Yeah, there was about half the street that had planned to show up at the committee, and as a result of the meetings, 0 showed up. So we won with flying colors. Everybody's happy. It's a win-win situation, and we should be another month and a half and this house will be built.
Awesome. Can't wait to see the progress. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.